Ave. It's a great, great topic, opportunity to talk about sovereignty or freedom, what it really means, what will to do what we want, to create anything. No. Well, we kind of uncover what's really true, right? Get rid of the misconceptions. I might be pushing against your belief systems, ideas, or concepts. Maybe that's why you're here. So if you are new, welcome. It's going to be a lot of working out the way it should. You need to change your belief systems or how you see this reality, not just the cognitive, because that doesn't really work with the same method that you thought of the solution. Yeah, you can't solve a problem with the same method or the same level of thinking of the problem. So I say you can't create or change your life if you're still existing in the same reality. So pretty much the same. So this is an experiential show. So as I speak, I also send out frequencies for those who more. So thank you. And for the people who've been here before, just bear with me. I observe from a different position, again, out of this consciousness, out of this reality. Think of this, no matter how independent you think you are, the free thinkers out there, right? The thought leaders that are out there, you're in the same consciousness or whatever's there for you in a very different perspective, but you're in the same playground. You're going to get the same results, okay? Or those the environmental conditions are going to be the same for you. You have to exist out of another reality or consciousness to really help people. Tools you use, no matter, even if you're creating a nice igloo or a house or whatever to keep you warm, the outside environment controls you, right? There's an environment called consciousness that dictates. It's an operating system. It dictates how this reality works. Again, it dictates how this reality works, which means it dictates how you render yourself, how you create yourself here in space-time. It dictates on how you view yourself here. It dictates on what you can do. It dictates all the possibilities that you don't even know about, the infrastructure of that you don't even know about, that goes on to, say, keeping you here alive and keeping you here, well, thriving. So, and that's the real freedom that we're going to be talking about, not this freedom of, freedom of government, freedom of, the women's movement where they, didn't want to wear bras and all that stuff, or whatever the hell that's out there. Or right now, freedom of being, I don't know, the multi-level sexual layers, and again, there's nothing wrong with that if you own it. But if you're trying to push against it to try to create freedom for you, it's not going to work. I did that talk, by the way, the last Moss on Sunday. I did a talk on that. So for those who are interested, take a look at that. It is an experiential talk. Let's take a deep breath in and settle in. And I'll tap into the group. For those who don't know me, again, had 2 near-death experiences, have allowed myself to be stepped outside this consciousness, this reality, right? Stepped outside, say, the frame, right? You're in the picture and you can only see the picture. You can't see anything else. What I've done is, stepped out of that picture, stepped out of the frame, and I'm looking differently. How many times, and again, comment in, how many times have you seen how many times have you seen where you're in the scenario, in the situation, really strong, right? You can't see anything else, and then you get knocked out of that situation, you step backward. Again, it's deeper than a mindset, but in this example, it's about your mindset, and they look at things very differently. Or if there's a new solution or new probabilities, or as you grow, right, you see things very differently from, say, a teenager or a young kid to a teenager, from a teenager to a young adult, from a young adult to older adult. Why do those scenarios happen for you? The environment is still the same. Again, the environment is still the same. But why does it look different to you? It's your perspective. Okay, so there's a deeper perspective, and that's called consciousness, that needs to be changed. And that's what I do here. We're the leader in consciousness evolution to provide say, disruptive technologies or knowledge to actually get this place get this rock that we're on onto a different course, something that's more abundant, more freeing for people, being alive and really understanding who we are rather than becoming enslaved into our own technology. So that's what that's about. Some people having buffering issues. Again, it might be on your end. I think our internet connection is solid. Yeah. So again, we'll take a look at that as well. Or yeah, if we can take a look at that. Let's take a deep breath in. So the first half is talking about how this reality works, and what you can do about it. And again, just working on you, so it's not just cognitive food for you. And then the second half is where I prove, my theories, prove my premise on how this reality works by analyzing any individual. I don't need to know your name or anything like that. You can go, hey, Ma, scan me, and I can understand you. So, or understand how or why your life is much deeper than what you've ever experienced or realized, and then see it, because I see it from a different perspective. Again, you have to step out of yourself, and then provide solutions, not cognitive solutions, although I do that, but frequency solutions to help you edit and change. By the way, it's the new world technology that's coming into play, frequencies. Okay, and you'll get it first here. All right. Again, a lot of people saying no buffering. So again, it could be just you. If you have any questions on, say, sovereignty as we go through, please comment in and we'll answer them. All right, let's jump in. Again, welcome. Happy 4th for those people in the US. This is a sovereignty, what people have done. And as I was looking up information on sovereignty, it's called Freedom and Sovereignty, a Fatal Relationship, outlined with Jean-Luc Nancy and Marquis de Sade. Hopefully I said that. And Yami, if you can post that on the thread here, on the comments, that'd be fantastic. It's a great article, a little scientific, so I'll just kind of briefly run through it. Really fantastic. So it's an abstract where it says sovereignty and freedom are interlinked in a manner of both ambivalence and interdependence. Neither can sovereignty confirm itself without presupposing for itself a pure state of freedom, nor can freedom conceive and realize itself without interweaving with sovereignty. So what does that mean, right? Both concepts collide with each other, as sovereignty usually signifies a certain social or culture power or order, and freedom regularly is related to a sovereign subjectivity. If you're fighting for freedom, like the people in Afghanistan, if you're fighting for your freedom, like the people breaking away from England and coming to America to start a new country, if you're fighting from freedom, from Spain and back in history, right? We all fought for freedom, or we're doing God's work. Because they use that excuse as well, right? We're doing God's work because we're going to go out and free people, and then we're going to fight to the death to free ourselves. That's what they're talking about. It never turns out good, guys. It gets so muddled, it gets so fucked up that it's amazing how messed up it can get, fighting for freedom or wanting your free will or being free. I'll tell you what, you really understand it at a deep level. This one, the sovereign citizens movement, and it's happened before, back in the 60s, the Vietnam War, right? All the demonstrations, the women's movement, the Black Lives movement, the Me Too movement, and this thing over and over again, the sovereign citizens movement. It's a loose grouping of primarily American litigants, commentators, tax protesters, and financial scheme promoters. Basically, self-described sovereign citizens see themselves as answerable only to their particular interpretations of the common law, and is not subject to any government statutes, or proceedings. In the United States, they do not recognize U.S. currency and maintain those who uh, those individuals who say create a whole different movement, again, like I said, and read their history, look at their history and see what's happened. Did they become free? Did they free anybody? Or did it go back down to their original self, or even worse, did they become those tyrants that they were trying to free themselves from? There was a good Twilight Zone episode on just this. It was a freedom fighter who killed off the dictator, and then he turned into becoming that tyrant that killed off everybody. So how does that work? What is the mechanics on that? And again, look through history over and over and over. You see the same pattern. You see you see the mavericks in business. Look at Steve Jobs, right? He fought against the system. He fought against Big Blue, IBM. He was fighting against the government, and then Apple became, one of the most tyrannical, say, companies, and I'm sure it still is, but the government couldn't even control it. So again, very, say, controlling. Look at politics. Look at how many people in politics who were really free. You guys remember back in the day, where you used to fight, your college days, right? You used to fight for that freedom. It's not right for people, right? You're the underdog. And then as you grew, as you became, say, submerged into the system, you became the system, or you became an offshoot of that system, the opposite of it. That's all. So again, not creating freedom for you. Look at religion. Religion is supposed to provide you freedom, but does it? It's always supposed to, well, you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Y and Z has constrained you to the point that you're not free anymore. You're scared as hell to not go to hell. So how does that work? Look at your parents who provide you. Well, I'm supposed to provide with parents like that, right? Right? They control everything so that you understand that you're free, right? They taught, and this is very different levels. One, those parents that are suffocating the hell out of their kids, right? Making sure that they're doing everything the right thing. How many of you who got raised like that are free now? And then how many of those individuals that had, like, really, say, military type parents that taught them everything that they need to go through life successful? And you did become successful, but are you free, right? How many individuals want to create money, right? Have success, have a job, have whatever, create freedom, right? Through money, the concepts of money. If I make a shitload of money, what's going to happen? Then I'll be free. How many of those successful individuals are free? Not just free, but are they really happy? Why did that happen? Okay. So again, you've got business mavericks, politicians, religious leaders, even the like I said, the sovereign citizen movement, eventually becoming the system themselves. I covered Steve Jobs. Look at Elon Musk. Again, unbelievable. He's in that early stages, right, of wanting this reality to be better. He even wants to take people to Mars to save them from, say, the tyranny or the incompleteness, I could say, or the abuse patterns, or whatever you want to call it, the dictatorship, right, from AI and then anything else. The founding fathers of the United States, they all had fantastic visions, but again, what happened to them? It'll happen to Elon Musk as well, unfortunately, if he doesn't have a session or a couple sessions with me. By the way, I work on a high level. But more and more business leaders are starting to realize that, they have tremendous power, and they're starting to realize that the freedom, the motivation, that kick in the ass that they needed, right, to start something, to create something that'll provide freedom for them, right, or for the freedom to move away. Example for Elon, he's got a couple companies, electrical cars. Well, as more and more people get into electrical cars, you'll be bound and again controlled by, and you'll see the problems again. So whenever you're trying to solve something for freedom, to free people of X in a very short time, you'll be controlled by whatever method that you use to free those people with. Yeah, let's take a deep breath in. Even again, your religious freedom fighters, protesters. So, what is it? What is the first principle definition of becoming completely sovereign? Okay, on this 4th of July, let's take a deep breath in. This one it says founding fathers had fantastic visions for a particular group of people. Really, some still had slaves, for example. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I want to cover. So thanks for bringing that up. Right. Again, founding fathers wanted to free themselves of the tyranny of, Europe. Right. And then what do? They started the same thing. They started having slaves. So if you're at the level of human consciousness, or at the level that humans operate, guys, if you're ever controlling, sacrificing, and taking away people, again, to put people in lack, you'll never be free yourself. It never, ever, ever, ever works out. Okay, and the other way as well. So if you're the victim of that, why are you allowing yourself to have that or happen? Why are you experiencing that? Most when we talk about freedom, it's always the bigger person, it's always the stronger person, the person with more money, influence, and all that. But then on the flip side, you would need to have, again, victims, weak individuals who have to be controlled or led. So both sides, say, are guilty of constraint or dictatorship, right? The dictator has to have followers, or again, the masses to control. So again, both sides are at fault. Let's just break that down for a bit, and we'll get into a deeper meditation to understand it. You're, like I said, you're always trying to be free, right? But then you're always looking for somebody to lead you. That's not really freedom, right? So as we take a deep breath in, if that's your pattern, you're running a victim pattern again, and you'll never, never be free. So what true freedom is, or what you're actually looking for, or what creates freedoms, and what creates laws around freedoms, and what creates religions for you to be free, what dictates, say, socioeconomic system that allows its citizens to be free, does not work in this consciousness. This consciousness, just like I said in the example, the winter, right? If you're in Alaska, the environment dictates what you do, and say the outcome of whatever that you do. Just like in Alaska, right? You're always dictated by the cold weather. So everything you do is laced or embraced or integrated with, say, cold weather. Again, no matter what you do. In this reality, in this environment, you're dictated by lack, you're dictated by control, and you're dictated by sacrifice. So those three things are not definitions of freedom in any way at all. So if you're creating from this reality, trying to be free, you're going to bind yourself. The ropes are going to get tighter and tighter. Then, like a noose, right? Creates more weight. It gets tighter and tighter around you. Same thing with the safest, what they found, bungee jumping, for example. You know how, hopefully you've gone bungee jumping. How do you try it? It helps you allow it to be free. Is that they wrap the rope around you, and it's not knotted in any way. It's loose, but again, with your weight, right? The more velocity, or the more weight that knot has on you as you fall, the tighter grips around your legs for safety. I give you that example. Because that's what you're looking for. So let me give you that example again. Okay, they have that slip knot. Basically, it's a slip knot, right? They wrap it around. They wrap it. They have a towel around your legs. They wrap the rope around you. They tie. They don't tie you. That's what you're looking for, and you go, well, shit, that's not free. That's not freedom, us. You're going bonkers. You meditate too much. It's not. That's what you really want. Let's take a deep breath in. And I don't have time. I don't have time to go through all of it. I talk about the details of everything, deeper details on my podcast, Exponential Intelligence, or XI. The Moss on Sundays is just a brief overview of this. I have the best UTV coming up, guys. So take a look at that. It's called the Moss Experience. We're also going to be on Clubhouse pretty soon, and we can chat. We can have a dialogue about the deeper subjects of this. So, and then also, obviously, if you go to sajady.com, you can find more about me. For example, like the couples event. A couple of events coming up this week. So if you are a couple, if you're having issues, if you want to be free from the paradigms of how couples work, right? Join that. You can go to massajady.com. It's going to be really, really intense. So prepare yourself. Okay. If those people who are excited about, and I know a ton of you are going to join that, guys, make sure you have time. You give yourself, you allow the two of you to be free of, distractions and just be yourself. So send your kids off, send your dogs off, send whatever it is, because it's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. It's going to be an intense event. And then also, by the way, before we move on, I need help. July 17th for those individuals who actually want to be free of, especially the youth, and then the young or even older adults, I guess. Anybody who is constrained, they don't feel like themselves. Somebody is they feel like somebody else controls them. This world is not theirs. They feel like an outcast. And all those patterns, people who cut themselves and abuse themselves, or again, maybe see things or experience things and all that. Those are all that event. It's a free event, by the way, because I hear more and more parents going, "Hey, Moss, my child or my spouse, their personality just changed overnight. I don't know what happened. Right? Something else constrained them, consumed them." So I'll talk about the logistics, the details on how to free yourself on, say, the I Need Help event. So if you have young kids, children, or even young adults, or even old adults, again, if you are one of those people that are feeling lost and you need help, that might be the way to go. It is a free call for you, by the way. So back to freedom, what you're really looking for, and we'll just do it experientially. How's that? Because in order for you to understand freedom, I would have to put you out of your environment to experience what you're really looking for and what freedom is really defined. So at a high level, okay, or what I call the first definition of freedom or sovereignty, as you settle in and as you take a deep breath, I would suggest not driving at this stage. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in again. So what does freedom mean? Real freedom. And then if you look at it, the top level definition of what freedom means, sovereignty means, you'll see that everything else falls into place. Again, XI is always the first definition. You can't go any higher. You can't, the rule sets, how this reality is dictated. If you go to the first level definition and then work your way down, you'll understand everything like a domino will make sense and it'll come intact, or it'll help you understand all the what if questions or the exceptions to the rule. Okay. So again, take a deep breath in. And then another breath in. Noticing your chest cavity, so your ribs, your muscles around the back. Breath in again. And again, some of you having video issues, no worry, just listen to me, okay? Again, focus in on your rib cage, your torso. Breath in again. There you go. So a couple things we want to go through. One, the first definition of freedom, what it is. And then I talked about that slip knot getting tighter. Breath in again. Again, the frequencies I generate go beyond time and space. What it means. Why did I say that the more freedom you'll have? Very different. No, not at the higher depth. And this is why, if you understand that principle, which I'll experience with you in just a few moments, if you understand that principle, you'll start to see that why whenever you're fighting for freedom, including free will, it always turns itself around and that constrains you in each and every situation that I described. And I'm sure you can think of many yourself. Take a deep breath in again. For you to experience freedom, real freedom, pure definition of freedom, for you to experience it, the freedom that you are looking for is from the filters that it takes to create your reality here in time and space. So I'll say that again. The freedom that you're looking for is the freedom of the filters that you need to remove, right? Or the freedom that of the filters that has to be created for you to experience time and space here. So I'll explain that as you take a deep breath in and just notice the 2 points on your shoulder as I work on you. Notice how, say, centered you are. Again, I didn't hypnotize you or guide you into a state by relaxing you, because it's not about that. It's defining you in space and time. Just because of time. You can go to the lecture series for the science behind it and how to, say, the mechanics, so you can do this on your own. Take a deep breath in, notice your throat. A lot of you, and again, comment in later, not now, but comment in later on those people feeling shackles around or chains around, around their neck area, chest, or bondage or heaviness. So it's working. It's nothing new. You're just realizing what has constrained you. Again, take a deep breath in. So again, if you're feeling the heaviness or the chains and all that stuff on you, that's what you're freeing yourself from. So, and I'll make it very simple. Okay. And again, these are your labels for you to experience or understand it, not mine. Your spirit, 100% free, especially free of time and space, right? All possibilities exist. You have to have filters to create time and space, and then all the filters that aren't necessary over, generations of your existence here that you don't need. That's the filters that you need to remove yourself from. Okay. The more filters you remove, the more free you become, the more clear for you, because you're in time and space. That's why it gets tighter. When it gets tighter, it just like that bungee jump. You feel free to do and experience that jump without fear. Does that make sense to you? So I know it might be a little confusing, but again, the process is as you take a deep breath in, and you don't have to, if you don't understand it, no worries. There's a lot of people who go, oh, I'm experiencing it. Because again, it's not a cognitive, it's a body experience. Breath in again. Say, for example, that no matter what you do, you get abused, you get shortchanged, you're not lucky. Or no matter what you do, you're lucky, you're happy. Again, those are filters that you see yourself from. And then you can't see your life in any other way. You're always constrained by those filters. Again, whether it's good or whether it's bad. The point is that you're not free. That's what free will is about, by the way. We can talk about that in another MOS. That's what your real freedom, that's what you're really looking for. So take a deep breath in. Removing your filters from generational patterns, from society's patterns, wars and starvation and droughts and all those things that are in your identity that's keeping you distanced from your spirit self or your timeless self. So there's a thick layer, your timeless self, time-bound self, all these layers in between. So you'll never feel free as long as you have all these experiences. You have to peel those away and you get closer and closer. And then when you integrate, when your time-bound body, again, your essence here, physical representation of your spirit, when that integrates, it's like that slip knot. It gets so tight around you that you feel the freedom that you experience if you were in a timeless realm, or what your spirit would experience. That's the freedom. If you understand that the more, say, constraint, not by laws or love or anything, the constraint you have in time and space, you're well defined in time and space. You understand the laws of time and space, just like you understand the laws of, say, gravity, right? Think of this. Take a deep breath in. Just notice your throat and your spine as they work on you. Gravity. Once you learn the principles of gravity, you become free. Does that make sense to you? And then you can do a ton of things that you've never experienced before, like the parkour people, or like those people that do flips all around, the great gymnasts like Simone, right? They become free of gravity. So it's not, say, common sense, and that's what common sense is. It's not the best, by the way. Common sense is not common sense. So hopefully that drives home what I'm trying to tell you. Once you are, say, constrained within the principles or the properties of this reality, not, again, government rules or parents' rules or anything, of this reality, once you are constrained by time and space, you have the freedom You have the free will to create anything that you choose, literally. And that's where freedom comes from. The closer you get to that definition, the closer this reality will free itself of wars, because there would be no necessity for wars. Free to choose to be the color that you want, to be the sexual preference that you want, to be whatever it is without having to define yourself. Because what you're looking for when you're trying to feel free is you're trying to define who you are in space and time by what you're trying to push away from. So I'll leave you with that. It's a deep subject, but hopefully it makes sense. Let's take a deep breath in. There you go. This one, beautiful. Just worked with my naturopath doctor. Much changes have occurred that are energetically measurable. I have changed so much since the last time we saw each other, and the only difference has been XI mass. Exactly. I constrained you in time and space, and then you free yourself of those things that, well, make you feel like a prisoner in your own life. So think about the logic, right? Just observe it. Don't try to figure it out. Just observe it. Again, free your mind of your natural process and just observe what I said and allow it to sink in. Breath in again. We're going to just go a little deeper, and then we're going to just jump into the scans. We're going to go a little deeper, and every Moss on Sundays, we work on, say, the leaders of the world. Leaders, business leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, leaders of your company, leaders of your tribe, leaders, whatever, leaders for your meditation group, whoever you want to work on. Again, that lead people, because they always say that, well, they want to do the best thing for you. But whose best thing is it? Their best thing, or your best thing? Or let's amp it up a notch. Human consciousness, best thing. So what's right for all humans, outside of age groups, outside of cultures, color, ethnicity, whatever else. Again, a human level, what's best thing, right? So that's what we want to get to. Again, first principle, best thing. Anything below that falls short. If we do that, nature is also added. Let's take a deep breath in. So through you, more awakened beings, because that's what real freedom, that's where real freedom comes about. Free yourself, and then nobody can control you. There we go. Breath in again. There we go. Again, think of any leader, even if it's a tyrannical spouse. But let's focus in on the high level leaders. Again, then set down laws for society. So through you, because it's the masses, alrighty. Just take a deep breath in. Just some of the predictions that pertain to freedom for you, and then we'll get into the scans. Predicted a while back that we're going to be free of, say, the darkness, the constraints that we think are true, the darkness, say, of religion or, again, abuse, same thing, or satanic type frequencies, if you want to call it. Again, that's your labeling, not mine. I predicted that when that paradigm, or that when that consciousness or frequency, say, breaks apart, falls apart, you're literally going to see the people who've been affected by that, come up or be uncovered. Buildings, natural disasters will show up to, say, corrupt or dismantle buildings, like Notre Dame or that church in Paris, right? Back then, strange fire. You'll see buildings collapse. Like if you saw the church coincidentally started on fire. And again, people go, well, it was arson, or, well, it was. Well, the underlying reason why an arsonist would be attracted, say, to something, again, is because first principle frequency. Those patterns cannot exist in this reality anymore. So they have to destroy itself. Right? Anything based on those patterns, or anything, say, created or built upon those patterns, have to be destroyed. Many of you experience that when I work on you, right? Either a private session. By the way, the private sessions usually are booked to put yourself on a waiting list, and we'll get you in. But group sessions, so on like that, I free you, and then you can't, say, support yourself through those patterns. So very different than psychology, and that's why things in your life collapse, and then you get to build it up properly. Buildings, and then the one in Canada, huge church burnt down. You'll see more. You saw a lot of, say, mass graves, again, up, forgetting my words, but coming up, right? Because again, the truth cannot be hidden anymore. So you'll see more of that, by the way, coming up. And it's not chaos. It's not the end of the world. It's the beginning, because you can't, say, have that ingredient that's poisoned humanity anymore. So that ingredient is getting removed. So, all right. Oh, thank you for that, guys. Yes, private sessions changed my life, as well as the 18-day acceleration. All right, so let's, one more thing. So the 18 days, guys, that we did it every other month because it was so powerful. People were getting way too distorted, although it's a good thing. It's like having changed so much that, well, you couldn't keep up. That's how powerful XI, exponential intelligence, is, and my abilities as I change you. So what we did every other month, we did the elevation, where it's a decompression, and so it's a great opportunity for beginners to get their feet wet into the principles of XI. It's where you meditate with me Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Central. Again, it's a really fantastic opportunity for you to understand the science behind XI, how it can change your life dramatically, or in 18 days when you jump into the 18 days. And it's a great opportunity for those individuals who did the 18 days. And I know many of you are going, well, we want more. We want to continue this trend. Hold a second. And I know you do, but you want to stabilize yourself first. And that's why we did it. Okay. So this is an opportunity for you to do, again, those people who did the XI and want more. One, you could either repeat the last month's, okay, which is really fantastic for you. And again, you purchased it, so I would take advantage of it, play it in the background if you want to accelerate yourself towards the off months. And it's not an off month, by the way, it's a decompression month. This is where, like back in the day, the tribes back in the day, they got to a certain level and then they sent out their young ones, to prove themselves. So that's why I did every other month for you, because a good number of you were like, say, depending on me, and I don't want that, because I can't be free from that. I wouldn't let you, but you can't be free from that. So I did the off month, the decompression month, again, the elevation month, where you can stand on your own at high levels for those people who are just starting, or getting rid of all their shit, right? To move out and to get rid of all that garbage. So that's what that off month is for, to help you integrate, to help you become confident with your own sense of self, with your own concepts of time and space. Okay. So again, you don't want more, you want solidification. And then the next month, I'm excited that you're excited, but then the next month, if you're that solid foundation, I can help you build that next level of your life. So that's what it's about. Again, so don't worry about more. You just want quality, and then the more natural. I have to read this, by the way. This is Sajady with Exponential Intelligence. See what I see. So if I do say, hey, you've got X, please consult your doctor for professional advice. You do with the information that I gave you, okay? Although it's more than just information, you will change again to your higher standard. If you ask to be scanned today, you're agreeing that we may use your sessions on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to, or if you don't want me to share, and again, I don't get too personal in these, those are for the private sessions for you. If you don't want me to share your session here, then just don't ask to be scanned. Simple as that. Again, you can go and do it privately. So don't call us and go, hey, you read me and then I want that removed. It's not going to happen. That's what this is about. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. There's a lot of copycats nowadays. There's sometimes, some of them are even like selling some of the old courses and stuff, guys. So if it doesn't come from our label, xiperformance.com, xiperformance.com, or Sajady, or Sajady, then they pirated it. So or they're reselling older, from what I'm seeing. So again, guys, it's not good for you, because those are, again, pirated frequencies, right? So you don't want to do that, right? You want to, oh, by the way, and the reason why we know that is people go, hey, I saw your thing on this channel, or this domain, and it's like, that's not even ours. So again, if you see stuff like that, right, or if you get advertised like that, again, send it to our attention. Thank you for that. All right, so let's just jump right in. Again, we'll still take that half hour. Could you please scan me and my son, Mantis? Thank you. This is Sandra Roma. And we'll go to the top, those people who came on, way before, and go, hey, can you scan me? So we'll do that as well. For you and your son, it seems like your son, again, I'm not a doctor. It seems like your son is allergic to some of the foods that he's eating. What is it? Mold, no, wheat, corn type products, well, basically GMO type, but again, milled products, like wheat, flour, things of that nature. It kind of messes his head up, from what I'm seeing. So again, just observe, just do, well, you could just take him off that stuff. And then see how it feels. Corn chips, all that stuff. Whatever is a corn derived, like maltodextrin, glucose, fructose, modified, to make them more sweeter, more bigger, prettier, juicier. But your body doesn't know what to do with that type of sugar, because it's not made for that type of sugar. It might take another million years for us to accommodate that. But until then, it's messing up many of us. And this is where, have you seen those overweight people? They're just like morphed into something else. Body doesn't know what to do with that kind of fat. That's why you go see people outside the US. Yeah, they're fat, but they're more like human fat, not the more I don't know what they've morphed into. That's because the body just doesn't know how to handle that fat. So it doesn't know how to read the sugars, because it's not sugar. And this is where a lot of diabetes and a lot of those things come in. So again, I highly, highly recommend that you do not eat You can do whatever you want, but you do not eat genetically modified, say, sugars. So watch for that. And as more people awaken and go, hey, fuck, I'm not buying that stuff because it's not good for me, then companies will change. It's all about the money, right? So it's you that does it. And then also for you, I don't know if you and your husband have issues. And again, it might not be your husband. It could be just you. You are always trying to, and you've probably worked with me from what I'm seeing, that you are moving away from that pattern. And again, you might think you're moving away from, say, your partner, but in reality, you're actually, because no matter where you are, you always think that you have to run away. Uh, to, yeah, you always have to run away, or you have to escape, or you feel like you're threatened. Okay. Again, that's not your husband. You have to remove that underlying pattern, and we'll do that right here for you. By the way, if I'm just working on one individual, you run of similar frequencies, I'll be working on you as a group as well. And then your son, on the flip side of it, he kind of pulls himself into, say, another reality because he doesn't want to deal, say, with that home life. So things might have, say, exasperated a little bit because that part of you is breaking down. So just let it go. Right? Don't try to hold on or fear. Step into the fear, and you'll see that there'll be no more fear, especially if you do. I would suggest maybe one more session, and then that will break for you. Okay. Pamela M, please scan my two sons and me. Thank you. So the two sons, yeah. So you, again, always running after them. For example, from what I'm seeing, you're always running after people, by the way. So you got to stop that. Say, it's like, your kid's running to the bus. It's like, okay, come back. You forgot your lunch, or come back. Those are the physical representation of what you do at a deeper level. By the way, if I read you, if I analyze you, please comment back. I know I'm accurate. It's not for my reference, but it allows you to go, how the hell did that guy do that? Where did he get his information? What did he tap into? Right? Where is it in the ethers? So it allows you the idea of possibilities of it's really out there. And then also those people who are up and coming, being an XIer, you get to see, or you get to start looking over my shoulders. So your abilities can enhance as well. Anyway, where did you go? Pamela. So my two sons and me, thank you. And then your two sons, they feel feminine because, again, you're insecure, right? You want to provide them that safety, which there's no safety when you're always trying to do things for them or try to please them. You're kind of a pleaser type individual as well, right? And whenever you please something, you're the type of person, and I know you're just very loving and all that, and that's the problem, is that, if you're like loving a cocoon, a caterpillar, where it's in its cocoon, you're loving it so much that you go, oh, I don't want it to go through the process of, whatever they do, molt or whatever they do, right? They break apart. So you start breaking apart the cocoon, and then that butterfly will never fly. It just will never fly. So parents, as a parent of 6 kids, and then I don't know how many surrogate kids I have, because my kids bring, I don't know, it's like sometimes a subway station here, like there's at least 4 or 5 kids going in and out of this house, which is beautiful because they find safety and refuge here. So anyway, as a parent of, I don't know, hundreds of kids, okay, again, you want to give them the confidence, the completeness, okay, so they can go out and make mistakes on their own and then learn from it and then grow. You don't want to do those things or tell them what to do, but you want to give them that confidence and that assuredness, right? So what you're doing, again, this is what I'm helping you with, and it's gotten a lot better. So you've done a great job, but again, pulling you back. And that's what I'm doing now. You've gotten to that point, again, before you just like suffocated them. Now I'm pulling you back because you're ready. So really nice job. Probably because of something happened to you, probably because of the 18 days. You just like awoke. It's like, wait a second, I want to live my life, right? And then you feel selfish. So, but again, that's you. Because when I see you, your kids are here, you're here, and your frequency is just like pouring into them. Again, and so you need that stability. That's why. So you're stabilizing, you're centering yourself here, and allows these. So once you stabilize yourself, you're not, or don't worry about being selfish or I should go help. No, just stabilize yourself. And then when you do stabilize, you'll show your kids. And then because your kids have very feminine frequencies, especially if they're boys, again, having feminine frequencies. Yeah, my two sons. Yeah. Uh, and this is where things get fucked up for generations. Okay, let me just explain. And this is why you have, um, gay, lesbian, um, all those things in Pride Month that just ended. Whatever, LGBT, all those things. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Your female frequencies are embedded in your sons. Now they feel very feminine to me. Again, a frequency of femininity. It's not that they are, but again, that female frequency, right? They'll tend to, yeah. So they become more and more feminine. They start to get confused. They go have kids. So so what, it doesn't purify, say, that masculine or male component in them. And then what happens? They have kids, right? They become a little more distorted, and then more distorted, and then generation and generation, and then you have all these different varieties that people. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is the original reason on why that's happened, right? And those people, again, they're never free of their sexual identity because they're always trying to push against other people to, well, help them or embrace them. No, embrace yourself, and then other people will embrace you. Okay. I don't know why that came up, but there's people probably in this space because of that. Let's see. This one, Senegade, Serena. Moss, can you help me delete the pattern of always seeing problems on? Yeah, Moss. It keeps scrolling so fast. Sorry, Moss, can you help me delete the patterns of always seeing problems or how things could be better? Yes. So instead of deleting it, Serena, let's do it this way. Let's and you've changed quite a bit, and you're observing your patterns. So before you were integrated in the pattern, you were, say, in that. So let's just disconnect you completely from it. But it's not about deleting that pattern, because it's a great pattern. Because look, you don't even need willpower. You don't even need motivation. You don't need anything. Have you ever noticed, Serena? And again, this is where XI can use anything to motivate or get you into the right direction, right? The higher version of who you are. That's always the right direction. Have you noticed, Serena, that when or people like you that run these patterns, if you're like worry, where is that again? I don't know where. I lost her. Somewhere here. Anyway, have you noticed that no matter what you do, it's like, you're just getting pulled along, right? It's just like this vacuum that just pulls you into that direction. You can't even help think, it doesn't, or what's the next solution for you, right? So instead of deleting that pattern, it's an awesome pattern to get you the hell out of that pattern. So that's what we're going to do. Just think of it. Say that you use that pattern, that vehicle, okay, that you want to get out of, right? To go, what if you implemented it's a self-driving vehicle, right? So in that, you put in the coordinates of, hey, you know what? I want to be successful. And by the way, you're getting youthful from what you're doing with XI, which is fantastic. So you're not trying to escape from old age and all that stuff. Again, you're starting to observe yourself or observe your body. So that's a really good sign. But back to you. So what if you could say coordinate, or put in the coordinates of, hey, I want success. I want a better body. I want to be healthier. I don't want to, be healthier than my parents, right? Because you don't want to put goals in the negative. And then you implement that, and you guide that car to take you there. And that's what I'll do for you. Again, longer sessions would be beneficial, but this will get you that start. So no matter what the hell you do, Serena, right? No matter what the hell you do, it's going to take you into the direction that you need to go. So again, those type of patterns, right? Obsession type patterns, which is a negative. In XI, it's a positive if you use it. The pure definition of obsession, the pure definition of even addictions, all those things. By the way, we're doing the addiction class to get you out of all that negative type addiction into where you get addicted to become your higher, better self. So again, in this scenario, imagine all those negative patterns that you just can't even stop yourself by doing to create what you wanted starts to come in, just like it does when you're trying to create problems, right? So that's what XI is about. Again, it's not changing. Psychology is so old now. It works. I'm not saying like things like Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza. Again, I love those guys. They've helped me a lot. Tony especially has helped me a lot as I understood it. Got a foundation. So thanks for that, Tony. But again, it's not a replacement. This is a complement. You need XI as a base level, right? A foundation to get rid of all that stuff that you think you are, and then their stuff works like 10 times faster. Okay? I don't guarantee a lot of things, but people who've gone through the process where they do both, it's amazing how fast they transform. What distortions do I need to delete to become more connected to pure source? This is Carrie T. So again, the distortion that you need to go next. So and this is the problem with Buddhists, Buddhism, not the way Buddha practiced it, but again, Buddhism and those type of individuals, they're always thinking that they need to go to the next level, make money. You don't. What you want to do, and that's what I'll lock you in. Let's just take a deep breath in, all of us. Let's just lock you into time. And more powerful as we've gone through today, but then also you're just amping. You're just like you're just tuning in to the frequencies, and you're just, I guess you're just vibing, right? Perfect, harmoniously. So I can change you. You guys are say yes. I want this. Really, really beautiful group, by the way. So you want to tell other people that you want to enjoy the journey with. Otherwise, you'll leave them behind. So tell them to get on Moss on Sundays. There you go. By liking, subscribing, take a deep breath in. There we go. So what you want to do, the new success mechanism, okay, where success is actually functional for you, or discovery of yourself is actually functional for you. If you're here, you want to be this next version, you're stepping out of yourself. You're stepping out of time, basically. What you want to do, what XI does is basically, it's like, I'm here. Remember, being more constrained in time, right? Like we just said, sovereignty, that's what it's about. And then what you do when you're here, you get to grow and expand. You get that inner expansion. And then when you can expand into where you want to go, just think of how full and complete you feel without being disconnected. So that's what you're getting into. So congratulations. Is it Carrie? Yeah, I believe it was Carrie. Yeah. So congratulations, son. So time is going to be off for you. And it is time and reality, space time is going to be off for you. So be careful, because some people, again, what happens, they get a little disoriented. So you want to be always observant, spatial reference, basically. Just take. God, there's so many of you guys. Yeah. So this one, Victory. Permission to scan, of course. So for you, Victory, you're always, and again, look at the, look at the way you wrote that. You're never sure of yourself, but then you think you're really, really positive about yourself, or you're just like, I'm sure of myself. But the pattern that you're running, okay, is that you're always proving to yourself and other people that you're sure of yourself and in control. That's a problem, right? And again, no offense, but I'm just going to give you an example. Those people who are just like overdriven, they have to prove everything to you. They tell you how much they make and how successful they were and this and this and this and that. So you want to run away from that, right? And that's why you go, this isn't going to make sense for you. But just observe, right? So you run away from that because your father was like that. Oh, that's what it is. And that's why it's confusing to you. Okay. And this is where, again, I can tie it into freedom for you, hon. And see, when you step out of the picture, you can see it so clearly. By the way, so victory. So say you had a father like that, and maybe a father that's successful, or the extreme opposite, not successful. But again, either way, mostly it happens with highly successful people or families that come from that, right? They're just like pounding to prove that they're successful, but they're not happy. So they always pound, have to control. And then victory, you grew up like pushing that away. And then you're pushing the opposite. So you're proving to yourself that it's not that. Okay. If that makes sense. And then you've associated with money and success, by the way, to oppressing you. So you're pushing your identity of being free, of being who you are. That makes sense to you. So what are you doing though? The point is you're using the same tool they're using. And when you're using the same tool to push against something, you're going to get the same results. That makes sense to you? So that's why I say you're always proving to yourself that you're free, basically, or you're always proving to yourself that you are. Simple as that. A bird, again, wild birds, wild animals, nature, never proves itself to anything and anybody. It just is. And that's where you want to be, hon. So let's take a deep breath in. And that's why no matter how much you prove yourself, how much you define yourself, because you're always trying to define who you are, right? And then as you get older, as it doesn't work, and then you go, everything has to be more and more meticulous. If you've looked at your life, and again, comment in, Victory, as you go through your life, you become more and more obsessive, so to speak, because you have to define yourself in time more and more and more. Breath in again. There we go. So I'm going to help you remove all that, and then you'll fall flat on your face. You're not going to like yourself, even after this session. Fall flat. It's basically the same thing for you. And then for people who are similar, and then when you fall flat on your face, okay, and nothing that you've defined yourself, just don't criticize or anything, or try to get another definition. Just observe your environment and yourself, and you'll see the truth comes in you. And I would suggest, again, a longer session, because you're going to change radically fast after this, because this is that one key that was holding you back on. Okay. Beautiful day. Why do I walk ways? Decision. Because there's two of you. That's why. Somebody in your family's been criticized? Oh, not you. Yeah, you've been observing, say like your father always criticized your mother, right? Or somebody's to that. I'm just giving an example, and it seems like the right example. And then your mom would criticize your father back, and then, or criticize you, or not necessarily you. No, not necessarily. She would literally embrace you. Does that make sense to you? She'd embrace. Most kids get criticized, unfortunately. They don't merge, and that's why criticism doesn't really help with kids, by the way. I should actually do kids classes with these, but these topics, you can't go, well, how am I going to create a kids class as they come up? So I think I'll write them down, or maybe Yami, we can write these down, and just, as I talk about kids, we'll create how to strong parenting. So anyway, when you're a kid and you criticize a kid like that, the reason why criticism doesn't work out too well, okay? And I'm not saying you don't discipline or criticize your kids, but you got to do it right. So this is what happened. Yeah. So the kid has a pure version of who it is, right? They understand who they are. That it's their default state. It's their purity, right? And they go, no, this is the way it should be, because this is the handbook. This is what I got from, the other side, or God, or however you want to define. I don't care. But this is me. This is the we. And it's like your parents are criticizing you to be this version here, not this pure version. And that's why a lot of kids go, why? Why is this? Why is this? Why do I do this? Why do I have to do wrong? You have to do this way to conform to my needs or to environment. And then kids like you go, no, I want to stay here. So what you do is you create yourself here. You create a copy of you here. So it goes deeper than just, why do I always make the wrong decisions? So this copy of you makes the wrong decisions. This you makes the right decisions. And that's why you always feel it's like, shit, I know I should be doing this thing right here, but why am I getting sucked into this path here, right? You can't even help yourself. If I'm reading you right, beautiful day. Again, comment in, hon, please. Uh, yeah. So that's the reason why. Because basically in your life, you're not supposed to be the original beautiful you that you are. And that's why you're always, even your name, beautiful day, right? You're always trying to be, I just want to be my beautiful self. I just want to be this. I just want to be this. I just want to have a beautiful day. I just want to this and this and this, because you're always fighting against not being that, but you don't know how to gravitate towards here. So what I'm going to do, because I could, but it'll fuck you up. But what I'll do is, like, instead of your purity here, the beautiful thing about you, hon, is that your purity of who you are, your natural essence, still exists. Okay. Over time, what most kids do, this crusty thing that's defined by society and parents, this one, they don't merge. This one dies off. And again, that's the death of a soul by the time kids get teenagers. That one dies off. They operate from this one. And then there's that void that hits middle age. That's the reason why. Because then by middle age, it completely is fucking dead. And that's where people just, bury themselves in life, and they become zombies. If you've ever wondered why when people reach 35, 40 years old, they're zombies, like your parents and all that, right? Look at them. They just go work, make money, do this, eat. That's the reason why. Anyway, so Yami, write that down, please, as well. Just write down. You don't have to write down the whole thing. Just like mental notes for me, please. Thank you. So for you, wow, it's a deep subject for a lot of you. Holy shit. So I'll take a little more time. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's bring that original version of you back. So what I'm doing for you, beautiful day, is literally creating distance, because it is about proximity. So creating more distance between the two of you. So you don't vibrate back and forth like this. You literally jump from your pure state to your distorted state, society's version of who you are. There we go. Oh, you're so easy to change. There we go. Let's create more distance from you. It's like, no, I want it all off. Well, you don't want it all off, honey. I know it's like I can just see. It's like, shit. That's right. And it's like you want to complete. You don't. Trust me, you don't. I know it's like, I just want it all off. You really, really don't, because your identities, your memories, your experiences are of that old version. Imagine like your phone. It's cracked, it sucks, it's old, but it holds a lot of precious memories, right? Your photos, some of the songs you like, all those things, right? That are you. So what you want to do is, like, you want to transfer into your new self those memories. Otherwise, you'll be a blank. Literally, people have done that, or I've done that for people back in the day, a little too fast. And it's like, Moss, I don't know who I am, around abuse when they learned to walk and talk. So I deleted the abuse. They had to relearn how to walk. So that's how, again, intense it gets. Okay. So you don't want to do that, hon. So basically, you create enough distance, you merge your files over. So you're going to just go back and forth. Again, you're going to pull your files, your old memories, all that, what you've learned, clean it out, instill them in the new you, so you cherish them better. And then that's where you go, yeah, you know what? I don't need my old self. I don't need my old phone. I can just refurbish it. So that's what you want to do. Beautiful. You've done a fantastic job, really creating a strong identity of yourself. And that's why I can, it's like peeling off layers of onion, the layers of the onion. I can see, again, I think we should do parenting or children's series. So again, thank you for that. It seems like you guys don't want to leave. Again, enjoy your 4th, guys. If you don't want to leave, that's totally fine. I'm going to the community is still open. You can comment. Okay, we'll leave it open for a while, chat. So thank you, guys. This weekend coming up, or if you want to keep perpetuating the growth and solidifying, okay, that's for you as well. So that's coming up, and then also the addiction series coming up for you. So again, the aging. So next week is aging. Is that a myth or is it real? Okay. And then I'll tell you the XI version on that. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends. Again, notice what you notice and then observe what you're noticing. All right. Peace.